All right.
Here we go.
Hey guys, here we are. This is Başak.
Hi, guys. We are here. This is Kate.
Hey,
Hello.
happy belated birthday again
Oh,
to my partner in crime. I am so happy you're born. I'm so lucky to have you. I hope your celebrations yesterday was fantastic. I thought of you all day.
thank you so much. It was wonderful. It was a very peaceful day, just what I needed. And I heard from friends and family, and it was lovely, just a day. We should celebrate every day as our birthday, don't you think?
I know. Oh my God, totally. Yes. And
Yep.
find reasons to celebrate, right?
Yes,
Because
yes.
reasons are not always that apparent.
Exactly. And actually, truthfully, I was a little bit, I wasn't down, but I wasn't full of energy, and so I just had to be there and the day was kind of gray, So I was
Mm.
just sort of mellow, but it was just, I used to not celebrate my birthday, like not want to celebrate it. I don't know why. And now I feel like my friend Nitsa, who likes to celebrate for a week. So I continue to celebrate for a week. I love that. This entire week of birthday.
I love that. Yeah, my husband celebrates for like a month.
Oh, he
You
does.
know
Oh my
how
gosh.
sensitive he is about his birthday. So yeah, yeah, it's different ways of approaching the birthdays, I guess.
It is. It
And I
is.
used to be like, why? What is the big deal? And I mean, I like celebrating, but he gets so sensitive about everything. And I was like, what is. So I just stopped resisting that. I'm like, okay, this is his thing and he really enjoys it. So I do my best to make it enjoyable, and that's that.
Well, I love that. And what was that word you just said as you said that? You said you stopped resisting.
Right. Which is our topic today.
Voila.
Well, resisting everything.
Yes.
That's like kind of conditioning, right, of our nature. We just it's just kind of, I think, in yoga we say resistance often shows up as dvesha, aversion. We resist what we dislike or what feels not norm or challenges your identity, painful, right?
Mhm.
So, and it also like shows up in the body. It's not just mental, but it can actually be physical. As a result, we work with people one on one, so we kind of see that, don't we, Kate?
Absolutely, all the time. And you think about resistance is also just the opposite of the coin of desire. They're both very
Ah,
strong feelings, right? And so often our work in yoga is to try to have sort of equal reactions to desire and aversion, right? So we remain
mm,
sort of neutral. So yes, it does show up. And oftentimes people are surprised when you say, "Oh, you've been just for a pose, you're very adverse to this yoga pose. Let's say we're doing asana, and I say, why? And then there's always like this, and then you start to do it, and they're like, oh, actually, this feels great. And I'm like, yes, this is what I've been trying to tell you.
I think that's the point, right? Like this is a really good example because I use this analogy a lot too with students. They say, "Oh, this is difficult," or "I can't do this," and I always say, "It's not that it's difficult or you can't do it. It's just that you haven't learned the mechanics of it yet.
Yeah. Yes,
When you learn the right mechanics, you can actually do it."
yes, yes.
Right? So, yeah, it's kind of like today I was discussing with my husband some plans for tomorrow. And my husband lives very disciplined life, pretty much very organized and very like he has his own schedule. He likes it that way. He likes
Yes.
it controlled. And so I throw something outside of the norm. And his first reaction to this kind of situation is always like, no, why would we change things? And my mine is always like, let's do something different, right? So I just had to like have a conversation with him and remind him and like, stop resisting. I said, first of all, you know that when you don't resist and we do these new things, it almost always ends up being so much fun and different.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
why not? Let's just play. So then we kind of came to an agreement, but it took a while. So I think resistance shows up for all of us in different ways.
And when he resists, Is it a mental, for him, it's just that's a mental resistance. It's not a physical thing because he could easily do what you're offering to do. So he's not like
Yeah,
fear. It's different from what his schedule was going to be and what he was planning for that day. And so it just messes everything up.
right. I
Right.
mean, even
Yeah.
small things that changes, like, our tennis days are, we play a lot of tennis here, Monday and Thursday every week. And then this week, our tennis coach was leaving, so it ended up being Monday and Wednesday. And that 1 day difference, he kept walking around and saying, it threw my whole, I don't know what day it is anymore. And I'm so not like that. Like, I'm
I
like,
know.
that is so interesting.
It's so interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But,
Wow.
I'm thinking about also, how the resistance come up, right?
Hmm.
From, our dialogues with friends, family, and also, students, clients that we work with. I see recently a lot of themes around career and work,
Yes.
like people avoiding change at work. Oh, my boss is changing. Oh, I don't know. I just don't want this. What do you mean you don't want this? It's coming.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You know, or the situation is so toxic that they are in, whether family situation or work situation, but they are really resisting to take an action around that, right?
Oh, so what
Um,
you mean that they're feeling like that is happening to them rather than taking an action? Is that what you mean?
no, I think they are in a situation that became really toxic that they need to do something about
Oh,
it.
they need to take some,
About,
right.
yeah, they need to take some action. I don't know, it's a conversation or whatever, and they are just resisting that so much.
And
Right,
why are
that's
they
like the
resisting?
identity crisis, right?
Yeah, they're resisting because it's going to be difficult, it's going to be challenging, it's going to bring up things they don't want to really deal with. Is that right?
Confrontation, nobody likes that,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And then I've had this happen a lot in my work. I don't know if you experience the same, rejecting feedback.
Mm. Hmm. Hmm.
You do like a little criticizing, and then that always there's a like, but in I don't think that way. But
Yeah.
like, rather than being defensive or going into blame mode, it's almost like resisting to grow, right? Because you want input. I
Yes.
mean, we all want input, and I'm not saying I'm perfect at
Yes.
receiving criticism. I'm not,
Yes.
definitely, but I'm working on it.
Yes.
It's not a bad thing.
No, no, it's actually very true. I'm working, working on writing, and I've been sort of, learning and doing it. And oftentimes, like I've had people who are good writers read some of my work and give me feedback, and I found that sometimes you look at it and I read it and I'm like, no, I don't do that. Da, da, da. And then I look back at it maybe 6 months later, and because I've grown, I look back, I said, oh, I just couldn't see it then, I was resisting hearing it, resisting it, and it's so funny, but it's so good
It
to look
just feels
back.
like our character isn't attacked when
Yes,
something like that happens. We take it so personal.
I know, I know. Yeah,
Right. And I
yeah,
mean, I love to think that in those moments, this is my new thing. I always try to think that whatever the criticism is coming from, it's coming from also this person's world, the way that they perceive the world, right? The way that they think about things.
right,
So it doesn't mean that I'm not going to take it into consideration, but I'm not going to make it so personal that what they say is the truth,
right, right. There's always this
right?
balance. Yes, you got to take that in. But I'm sort of
Yeah.
interested in this idea of resistance, that when you're resisting really hard against something, is it kind of like having a nightmare? We talked about dreams. That's like a nightmare is something that's like knocking at the door saying, pay attention. So sometimes that really strong resistance you're feeling is actually saying, bring attention here, look this way and deal with this.
So true. I think we resist to certain, important things. We delay things, right? Procrastinate about things
Mhm.
because we feel that they are overwhelming.
Yes.
Like, I mean,
Yes.
I'm sure you feel that in your writing.
Yes.
Right? Because when I wrote that one book, it was so overwhelming for me to do those changes or go visit them over and over again because, oh my God, but then if we kind of talked about that, no, no, you just don't have to do it like all at once in big chunk. You can just slowly, part by part, address it on a
Yes.
daily, like just like the practice. You
Yes.
can't go into a headstand until you have a daily steady practice for a while, I
right,
mean, some of the people can, depending on young, able body, whatever.
right.
But generally, you need practice to get to a place. So practice happens on small and steady and continuous steps, not all at once.
Yep, yep, absolutely agree. Um, I do have something that I would say was, well, there's a few times in my life when I felt like I was meeting up with resisting something, and it was really difficult for me to say yes to. And then because it felt like a big decision, and those are sometimes the hardest
Mm.
ones to make, but then they were the best decisions, and one of them was about my husband now, I resisted because it wasn't what maybe I imagined in my head as who I would be with. I hope he's
Your
not
life
listening to
partner.
this.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think he is. But
Yeah.
and I remember, and actually it's so interesting, and I was at a big yoga conference, and I was at and I wish I could remember who it was.
Oh God, it happens.
What
Continue.
what happened? Everything okay?
Oh, I just got disconnected for a moment.
Oh, okay. I think you're okay.
Um,
We can
can you
hear
hear
you.
me?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
you're okay. Okay. Yeah, maybe a second and you
Yeah.
come
If
back.
that happens, keep going.
Okay, absolutely. I'll just talk to no one. I mean, to everybody who's
So you were
listening.
saying,
So, so I was in this I was at this yoga conference, and I was just debating, should I turn towards him or should I turn away from him? And I'd come out of, and I wish I knew what Swami it was, but it was someone there talking about the Gita. And when I came out of that, I said, I'm going to turn towards him.
wow,
I know. And then
that's so beautiful.
yeah. I wish I knew who it was who was speaking. I actually have like the handouts from the day still about the Gita, and I've kept those
Do you
because it
remember
was such,
which sutra was that? That really
oh,
made you?
I don't remember. I'll find and let you know next time we
Yeah.
speak. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'm so interested. That's
and that
great.
that but then that gave me sort of more courage, I think, that whenever I'm coming up to resist
Mm.
this, and also courage and a desire to really pick it apart. Like, why am I resisting this? What is this doing? Why
Mm.
am I reacting so mentally, physically against this? There
That's
must,
such a healthy behavior, swadhyaya, right? Self-study.
yeah,
Why in the what, and then we can actually have some illumination about our nature. That's
yeah,
beautiful.
yep, yep.
But in relationships, I feel that this resistance comes so much.
It does. It does.
I mean, I
Yes.
think maybe sometimes it comes in not expressing emotions. You feel hurt or angry, but you resist speaking up because it feels vulnerable. Instead, you shut down and distance yourself,
Yeah. That's very
right?
interesting.
Sometimes.
Yes, I think you're right. So
And
in
then even like you hold on to the resentment too. Time passes and you still resist forgiving someone because it feels like you're letting them off the hook or something.
yeah. Yeah, forgiveness is an interesting thing. The resistance to forgiveness can be long.
Yeah. Oof,
Yes.
that's another huge topic, I
I
think.
know. Maybe that's our next discussion. Forgiveness.
Right.
It's a big
And then,
topic. Yeah.
I was this came up today in a session with one of my mentees, that fighting anxiety, people feel anxious, but immediately they try to distract themselves to resist it,
Yeah.
or just tell them like it shouldn't be there, you
Right.
know, which often what happens amplifies it.
Right. 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 And that's the same type of thing that we sometimes talk about physically in the body. Sometimes when and I'm not talking like when you have really acute pain, but you have a bit of pain, you sort of try to, mask it or turn away from it. But sometimes if you sort of just breathe into that little bit of pain, it disperses, So it's actually
You
paying
just talk like
attention.
a yoga therapist.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Using your breath, beautiful. And then, I think this probably we all experienced that at some point, when deep down something isn't working. It could be a job, relationship, way of living, but you resist admit, admitting it to yourself
Yes,
because of the implications.
yes, because of the implications. Yeah, we're losing you a little
That's not
bit.
a word. Implications is a word.
Implications. Yes, yes.
Implications.
But it
Yeah.
is, it's because you are afraid of making that change, right?
Mm.
It's just easier to keep going along the path, even though if you know deep down it may not be right.
And I don't even think it's an fear, I mean, it
Right.
could be, but I also think that it's just laziness, pure tamas, right?
Yep. Yep.
It's like, I
Absolutely.
don't want to work. I don't want to do something. I have to work at it. I have to do something about it. I don't want to.
Right. Right.
That's why I think yoga practice becomes so helpful, especially in those moments. If you practice asana, I
Yes.
feel it really energizes you,
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
or
Well, I
any
think
kind of,
any kind of
physical
exercise.
activity, actually.
Yeah, you can relate that to anything. Like you're sitting around or you're, on a weekend or whatever, and if you get lazier and lazier, but if you get up and you play tennis or you go for a run or you do some walk the dog or do some yoga, you suddenly it just clears up the channels, and then suddenly you have the
Yes.
energy, the current is flowing. So I using those words specifically, can I tell you about this little dive I went into physics? Can I, and physics
Yeah.
and resistance?
Tell me.
So just a disclaimer, I'm not a physicist. I know nothing about physics, but I'm fascinated by it. So there's this whole thing that with this law, which I'll tell you the name of the law, that was discovered in 1827. And it's basically about the direct relationship between voltage, current, and resistance. And so this seems very like we all know about this now, so it doesn't seem like such a big discovery, but in 1827 it was. So it basically just saying more resistance means less current. So I'm thinking of current as your sort of your peace, your energy, and the more resistance that's applied, the less of that sort of prana, you could say it, is in your body
Flow.
flowing. Yes, there's no flow, right?
Yeah.
So,
Beautiful.
and a couple of things are interesting in the equation that they do in this law. Current or prana is represented, or I'm saying prana, but current is represented by the letter I. So, which I was like, why is
That's so
C
funny.
current? Yeah, is by the letter I. So I was like, so my energy is
Mm.
being, and anyway, so this whole, people who know physics knows that this sort of understanding about current, and it's to do with batteries and flow and voltage, was is named Ohm's law.
Oh
Seriously,
my
his name
God.
is
I got
George
chills.
Simon Ohm, OHM. He was a German physicist, and it's called Ohm's law. Is that
I think I remember studying this,
do
by
you
the way,
do you
when you
see?
said that. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So anyway, I just thought it was a
Wow.
really
It's so
interesting thing.
vital.
I know. And it's these three elements. It's the voltage, it's the current, and it's resistance, which is, we're always talking about the three different, I mean, there's so many sort of crossovers that,
Right, the
right?
gunas, the
Yes.
material modes of nature. It
Yes.
shows up everywhere. What a great example,
I
Kate. I
know.
love it.
I know. I'm sure there's physicists who will probably say, "Wait, it doesn't really work if you think about it this way." But anyway,
But
just the
anyway, yeah.
idea. But anyway, we'll just go
From
past that.
our
But
from our point of view, it fits.
yeah, from our uneducated point of view, it was very interesting. Just the fact that it was called that, and Ohm is
I
such a weird
know.
name for someone from. I don't. It's he's German. Like, where does that name come from? Isn't it?
Interesting.
You
Yeah.
know. Anyway, so that was
Wow,
my
very
little.
cool.
Yep, my dive into
That's
physics.
like a divine intuition or premonition or something, like coming from some, yeah. Anywho,
Yeah.
um,
Anywho.
in terms of, well, I'm just thinking that other ways that we get resistance, right? The body health issues too, right? When you ignore pain or fatigue and you push through your day, and the body is signaling exhaustion, but you're resisting self-care
Oh,
because whatever, it's good to be like pushing yourself in our culture,
right,
right?
right. Oh yeah,
Like it's rewarded
Yep,
somehow.
yep. That's the other side of the
Crazy.
coin from
Yeah,
not getting up and doing anything, doing too much, and that's also kind of like if you think about it, you're not like your voltage is so high, like you're in this sort of rajas thing, like I got to go, 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 and that is going to deplete your energy. You're going to have nothing left, right? Yeah,
of course.
yeah,
So it's just so unhealthy,
yeah,
right? And also the avoiding healthy habits too. You know that certain foods or habits or routines would help you feel better, but you resist them because, again, comfort or tamas, right? Inertia,
Yep.
laziness, pure laziness.
Pure laziness. Or as I
Yeah.
was saying to you, I think earlier, that it's more pleasurable to do this unhealthy habit
Oh,
and
that's
quick.
quick pleasure
Yep.
versus
Yep.
long-term
That's
pleasure.
very, very hard.
I think that's why, like, when people do like new workout or something, that new healthy habits that they try to introduce to themselves, their lives, they put like either their best version, best picture on the um, refrigerator or
Refrigerator.
something, that so that they can always look at it. Of of course, it's not just an external journey,
Right.
but it's just, I think, just keeps it in the mind that, hey, reminds you, because we forget. We just want quick things. So when you reach for that, unhealthy food,
Yes.
you might
Yes.
just think about, oh, but look at that. This is where I want to go in my life.
Oh, I love that. I just had this image of me opening the fridge and I have all these post-it notes on all the things like, don't eat this, Kate. Not good for you. Hands off, Kate.
Yes. And also in our age group, there's this whole resisting aging.
Oh, yes, big time. Big time.
So,
Yes.
the people spend so much energy trying to reverse or hide
Yeah.
the signs of aging rather than accepting as a natural progress of
Yeah.
life, which
Yeah.
is, yeah, it is the hardest one, I think, because we are so attached to the body.
Yes, and it's very hard. I mean, we want to stay, I don't know for myself. I want to stay healthy. I want to stay flexible, but
Yeah.
I know I'm getting older, and it's just you just have to keep pushing, but know when you're pushing too much, and maybe because of your age, you can't do it for as
Do
long.
certain things and then
Yes,
just,
yes,
yeah, change your practice or
yeah,
change some of the habits that maybe you were able to eat certain things more before. Like for me, I'm from Turkey, so cheese is like a vital source
mhm,
of energy for me, and protein because I don't eat meat.
yes,
And you know, but I'm realizing for the first time this year that it's actually not serving me very well. So I decided that I'm going to start really moderating and eventually letting go. So that will be my last step on becoming a vegan. I've been resisting becoming a vegan. I want to stay vegetarian
yes,
because of cheese. That's the
right,
only reason. Um, but I'm realizing it just doesn't really feel as good in my body anymore.
yeah,
So body is changing. I need to just not force it.
yes. And I do think that once you make those decisions and you start to stick with them, then you are moving yourself to a healthy habit, you know. And in sort of in my world, ages ago, when I discovered Greek yogurt, like that became
Mm.
my like sweet, rather than having a chocolate bar or
Yeah,
something, I had, that. And so if you can switch, and you just, it's again, it's a slow thing, right? And your body's changing, and you
it
yeah,
is.
yeah. So for you, will you find something to that you like as much, or what do you do
Yogurt.
instead of cheese? What?
You
Yogurt?
did it.
I did it.
Yogurt.
Yogurt. Isn't that funny? Yep.
Done.
Yep.
Solved.
Done. Yes. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, life is always asking us, I feel, to evolve.
Yeah.
But if you resist letting go of who you used to be, what you used to be able to do, all of that, it
Yeah.
just feels like, I think, losing yourself. But who is the self, right?
Right.
You can always choose
Yes.
differently and
You're
be
not your
different.
body.
Fine.
You're
It's
not
it's
your mind.
okay.
So can I read the
No.
little quote here from Eckhart Tolle?
Yes, please.
So this is what his thing about resistance is. To offer no resistance to life is to be in a state of grace, ease, and lightness. Simple, right?
Mm. That's the beauty of all these beautiful teachings, right? Or wise people is simple.
Simple. Yeah, so it's sort of essentially like go with the flow. But I used to work with this woman many years ago at Only Make Believe when I was first starting working there, and she said, people say go with the flow, and she said her mom used to say flow with the go,
I
which
like
I
that.
actually love, right? It's like
Yeah.
the your life is going and you have to flow with it. Rather,
Oh,
isn't that cool? Just like sort of flipping it on the head. It was so clever.
yeah. And I feel that when we feel there's a resistance, what we do is maybe as an antidote, right? We just simply notice that this is here. And I feel this, right? I'm not rejecting this,
Yeah.
but I don't have to become this. So that by witnessing and separating yourself from that resistance without judgment, you're creating space between you and your patterns or your habits.
Yes.
And that space, what we can call is freedom.
Yes. Oh, I love that. That is fabulous. That space that you're creating is freedom. That is
Yeah. You don't
so
have to be that. And
right,
you don't have to be anything.
right, right.
And then, of course, surrender, right?
Yeah,
Surrender that there is a hand that is bigger than us in nature
yeah, yeah,
that is in control, and we are not in control. So
yeah.
we just surrender to the life's unfolding.
Yes, yeah. And do our best.
Do our
Yeah,
best.
yeah.
Do our best. I mean, we observe. So if we were to like make like steps, right? When there is
Yes.
a resistance comes,
Well, I love
we
steps.
observe it.
I like
Let's
numbers
do
and steps.
step
Let's do
one.
this. Come on. What?
Step one, we observe it and with compassion. Okay.
Okay, I'm writing this down.
And then,
Observe with
oh,
compassion.
great.
Okay. Okay.
And then step two, you suggested this, breathe into it
Mm,
and letting that breath soften the grip.
yep.
And then we move it, I say for yoga, through asana or using your body as a tool of transformation, taking an action,
Yeah.
some kind of a small action, right?
Yes.
And then the last step is, I think, we just surrender the need to control it.
Yep.
Trust it. Trust that everything is going to go where they need to go.
Yep. Well, I love that because you first take action and then you surrender. I kind of like that. You
Yeah, without
yes.
action, like this is all we are taught, right? Bhagavad Gita.
Yep.
Do your duty, take the action, but take an informed action. Not
Yes.
just act in the sake of acting, but act from a place of deep consideration and thoughtfulness and, wisdom, and then act, and
Yeah.
then surrender.
Yes.
How
Love it.
lovely. I love yoga teachings. Oh,
No. It applies to everything and everything and everything and everything and
everything.
everything and
Yes,
everything.
yes.
Yeah. So I
I
love
think
those
we
four
are,
steps. Are we out of time?
you like them? Okay, good. Maybe
Yes.
we put them on the chat thing.
Yes. So when that you
Those
next
are the steps.
encounter resistance, you have some steps to take. And also just to
Yeah.
even notice that it's some people don't even really notice that they're resisting. That's just to notice that you're resisting.
Oh, because we are so close to it that we think that this is who I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
By nature, I don't want that.
Yes, by nature, I never do this, Me, I
Right.
never do this, but maybe you do this.
But whenever do you realize whenever you use the word never, it always comes true. Like it
I know.
becomes ever. Like
I know. I never want to
like
win $1 billion. Is that very
I
yogic?
like
I
that.
don't think so.
I never want to travel the whole world. No, I don't.
Never.
Many times. Yeah. That's
That's
great.
the one step. That's the only step you
That's the
need.
one step. Well, that's
All right.
lovely. We
Yes.
can talk about this, I think, more, but it's time,
Yep.
kind of. We have
Yep.
2 minutes. Any reflections? What is it that you're going to do as an homework?
I know we haven't been doing much homework these past weeks.
Yeah, we forgot that.
I think I actually think I should just do I should sit with it and see what I am resisting right now because yeah, because you go through life and you maybe don't realize the small resistances that you're doing. So I think I'm going to sit my next meditation and just contemplate that. That's my homework.
I just was thinking that because we don't know what we don't know,
Yeah. So we have to
right? Let's
figure it
just
out.
figure it out.
Yes, yes. What is it that I'm saying no to, maybe subtly or not so subtly, that
Mm.
I could embrace or say yes
And you
to.
know what's going to happen now, right?
No, what's going to
Now you're
happen?
going to be like left and right resistance coming your way. Whenever you put your attention to something, oh, like all over the place.
Oh no, I'm exhausted already.
I know. No, Thomas.
Okay, no Thomas. Here we go. All right.
Very good. Thank you so much. This was
Thank you.
lovely, as
This was
always.
lovely. As always, it
Adios.
was. Have a wonderful week and
Thank you, you
look,
too. And thanks everyone for listening. We are so loving that you guys are listening and sending your support and love to us. And we want to hear more from you. Any subjects that comes up, any person who wants to be interviewed, please give us a shout out. We have very interesting interviews coming up in the month of October. I'm so excited and delighted.
yes,
But until then, we would be doing these little talks between us.
yes, yes. So yes, so please respond on the chats and we'll respond to you, which would be lovely. All right. Bye, my
Beautiful.
friend. See
Bye
you.
bye.
All right,
See you
let's get
next
the
time.
music going. Oh, is that loud enough? Here we go. Bye.
Bye bye.